After the hard work, to make that delicious homemade beer, it is time to clean and sanitize the bottles and equipment before bottling. This is very important, because your beers gets bad if your bottles and equipment is dirty in any way, so make sure this is done properly. First, make sure the bottles and equipment is clean. When you finish drinking a beer, and you would like to use the bottle for one of your homebrew beers, you must clean it just after you finish drinking. This way the bottle is easy to clean. If you leave the bottle without cleaning it right away, the small amount of beer left in the bottle will get stuck, and it is almost impossible to remove. When the inside of the bottle is cleaned, then remove the label on the outside. This can be difficult depending on the label and type of glue used by the brewery. Put the bottle in the bath with water for 20-30 minutes, for the glue to dissolve. Then rub off the label. If it is difficult to remove by hand, then use the rough side of a kitchen sponge to get it off. When the bottles are clean, then leave them in a box for bottling day. If you have done your work properly, it is much easier for you when you are going to sanitize your beer bottles on bottling day. On bottling day it is time to sanitize the beer bottles and bottling equipment. I put about 40 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide 35% and then water in my sink. Then I fill the clean bottles in the sink, and let them be in the sink for 30 seconds. Then shake the bottles with hydrogen peroxide 35% and water in them, to make sure that all surfaces of the bottles are sanitized. Pour the hydrogen peroxide 35% and water back in the sink for the next bottles. When that is done, place the bottles in the case with the bottoms up. This makes sure that all hydrogen peroxide 35% and water is out of the bottles. It also prevents dirt from getting into the sanitized bottles. Do this to all the bottles you need for your beer. Make sure you have a couple of extra bottles sanitized, if something goes wrong when you are bottling, for example miscalculated amount of beer, dropped bottles or whatever problem might occur in the bottling process. You must also sanitize the siphon. Again, I use hydrogen peroxide 35% added to some water. Put the siphon in the hydrogen peroxide and water, and then make it flow through the tube. If your sink is too small to make the water and hydrogen peroxide cover the siphon completely, then use pure alcohol to sanitize the rest of the siphon. Remember to sanitize your hands and all the edges of the fermenters with pure alcohol before starting. Now put the sanitized siphon in the fermenter and make the beer flow to the bottles. When you have filled all the bottles, it is time to put caps on them.